Hey guys, Jonal here, and today we're taking a look at a Genji aim and practice guide. But before we start, I want to say welcome to all the new subscribers on this channel. It's been absolutely a tremendous boost after I got features on a Nickel channel. I hope you guys enjoy the content, and your support on my videos has been absolutely tremendous. So I just hope you like the channel, you like the content, and you stay around. But with no further ado, let's just jump right into it. As always, you want to get a good crosser. Personally, there's only two crossers I've ever been using. And the first one of those is the short crosser, and the second one is the dot. Now, which one of these you want to use really up to you, and you don't even have to use any of these. It really is a preference. Just make sure that you try to get a good color on that, something that stands out for the environment. If it's neon green or purple, for example, those are two good colors that I see used a lot. I personally use green. The short crosshair takes up more of your screen, but it's much easier to track with your eyes. The dot doesn't take really up any of your screen, however, it is also really hard to track with your eyes. Now that also does of course that the dot is much easier to be precise with. However, your aim, at least from my experience, must be pretty good if you want to use the dot, because you're not really aiming or tracking with your eyes. You are kind of firing and then using the dot as some kind of preference. Now right now I'm using the dot on all my characters, but before that I used to run the short crosshair and dot on a couple of heroes, such as for example Reaper. But as said, it's really a personal preference. Now we start out with the beginner guide, and then we go on to the more quote-unquote advanced guide after that. There's a timestamp in the description to this advanced guide. However, I recommend you watching all of it, because if you don't really know the basic, it can be kind of hard to or at least inefficient to use the advanced guide because you don't have the basic sitting. So the basic guide is essentially you go into practice range and just want to go in front of these spots here. Start double jumping while strafing. Don't focus on getting too many headshots because the hitbox is kind of ridiculous hard. Just land some of the body shots, and when you get comfortable with this, just go on to the second stage. And the second stage is really all about landing those right and left click. Double jump and right, and getting used to moving and shooting, getting used to when you shoot your left click, when you should use your right click. And as I said before, don't really focus too much on the headshots, because as I said, the hitbox on these bots are essentially really large and they're very easy to land on. So just jump around, just try to get those angles, work a little bit on those bots, and have some, some good warm-up fun. Make sure that you feel comfortable doing all of that. When you're getting used to this, just jumping around and killing bots, you can start focusing more on picking out a target and then taking it down as fast as possible with a wall climb. So wall climb around like on the screen right now, and then jumping down, picking out a bot, land on it, try to kill it with as many shurikens as possible. If you want to use strip strike, that's totally up to you. Just jump around, try to land as many good shurikens as you can. Jumping down in a very steep angle can be a problem for some players. However, this is a really good way both for your mobility training on Genji, so you get used to wall climbing and jumping around, and also just in general your aim, because you have to quickly turn around, find a target, shoot that target, and go on there. Give you good reflexes and good decision making can be very important for you. And now on to the advanced guide. Now first we gotta set up the custom games, and all the settings go as follows. On mode, you turn on skirmish and turn off everything else. On the maps, you turn off all the maps, and then you just click on and turn on King's Row again. And in the end, you go to the hero selections, and then you click on Ana and you disable everything, and make sure to go to the bottom and disable her biotic rifle. That's very important so that she can't really retaliate on you. Move yourself to team 2 and then add 6 hard Anabots to team 1. And then if you want to, you can go and then save this as seen on the screen, so that you can keep the settings if you want to. If you don't want to, then that's really up to you. Now in the hands to aim guide, we had 3 stages on this map. With the Genji, we only have 2. The first one goes really from the statue to the last choke that you can hold on second stage of this map. Now the first stage is really good for everything. You play around with the statue, you play around here, just jump around. There's some high grounds you can take and shoot down from. You can wall climb, you can really do whatever you want, right clicking, left clicking, just jumping around. The second alleyway that you do in the first stage is kind of more like tight. However, it's still pretty good because there's houses that they will hide behind, they will run out the health pack. In general, it's actually really good to just practice you chasing and you fighting in these like more close environments with walls and no corners they can hide behind and go behind. You chasing those kills, so it's actually a really good spot. Now the last spot is a very good practice for especially your left click, since it's easy to keep them at a medium-ish range. Just jumping around here and try to go for as many headshots as possible. This is very important because Genji's damage output is not insane. It's not absolutely demon. It's really good if you're good with him, but it can sometimes be really good to land a kill, and landing those headshots can really be a game changer for you. Especially since you normally will only land about one shuriken. With your right click, landing a headshot is the same as landing 2 shurikens and can be really good for you. But of course, if you don't feel comfortable landing headshots all the time, just get used to landing body shots and then advance onto headshot whenever you feel comfortable. You gotta take it in your own pace, you gotta take it as you feel of it. Just don't get too focused on only landing body shot 24/7. Landing headshot can be really good. And if you want to go, you can go into the settings, you can set Ana to receive headshot only, and it might help you just if you want to practice on only landing headshot, because you rarely do that, but that's really up to you guys. Now, how do you actually aim with Genji? Well, remember that Genji is a projectile hero, and as a lot of projectile heroes, at a longer ranges, so if you're not really close to him, you will have to try to predict the movements of your opponent. That's why they are so hard to use, because you're trying to kinda just getting used to just like, okay, that's the strafing pattern that this guy used, or it looks like he might go for this movement now. Okay, I'm gonna try to aim around him and try to land some shots here and there. That's also one reason that you on medium range, a lot of them just land one headshot, and headshots, it's so important, because if you only land that one shuriken, you getting that double damage multiplier is so important for you. So the closer you get, the easier it theoretically is for you to aim. But also remember, if you move with your target, as you will see on the screen when I attack the bots, I try to move with the target. It's a lot of time easier to track with it, at least, or at least to land your shurikens, because what happens is you are moving yourself while trying to adjust your aim to something that's also moving, which can be really, really difficult, right? Because there's just so many variables that you have to adjust for. So if you move with your target, then the target is not legit standing still, but very similar to standing still, as long as none of you have a speed boost advantage that the other one don't have. You guys move at about the same pace, and it can be much easier to just land those shots, because the unpredictability of your opponent will not be. And that's why sometimes you see, if a bot all of a sudden just stops, you can see a professional player in practice range, he'll miss a shot because the bot all of a sudden just stopped. And he was moving with it and thought that it would continue to move on. Now remember, and this is very important, double jumping around and try to use as much agility as you can. As that's very important, because it would not only be helpful for your Genji, it will be realistic training. You won't stand still or only just run around on the ground level. You will double jump, try to wall climb, take high ground positions, just be hard to hit all the time. You will some people crouch spam, and practicing realistic is the most efficient way. That's also one reason that when we play Genji, I only log in Ana bots. There's other reasons for that as well, but because Ana is one of those targets that I, as a Genji, really have to be good at. So when I go up against the Ana now in scrims or in competitive, I'm like, I already know the hitbox of this because I've killed thousands of them. Now just go for as many kills as you feel comfortable with, as many kills that you have time to. I do about 100 to 200. I try to do that a day. Sometimes I can't, sometimes it only becomes like 70 and then I have to go. But try to get that aim practice in as much as you can to improve your aim. And remember guys, that practice makes perfect. You will start off and have problems with it maybe, and then you will slowly but surely improve and become really good. Now guys, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then drop a like. If you disliked, then dislike. Drop your opinions down in the comment if it's something that how you improve your aim, or how you practice your aim. You can drop down in the comments, try to help out other people. If you have any questions, then just fire away. And if you have any video requests or anything that you want to see on this channel, then drop them down. I'll try to either respond to it in a comment, or I'll maybe even make a video on the topic. Besides that guys, as always, I'm Jonal, and keep the enemy in your crosshair.